Welcome, ladies and gents, to Calypso Cove Water Park, ahead of today's game against Barnsley. But before we crack on with this one, we do, of course, have a couple of games to catch up on, and, well, they're rather spicy. So, without further ado, let's hop into Football Manager, shall we? After injuring Williams 4 minutes in, we had the last lap against Stoke as we picked up a simple 1-0 victory. Before a very interesting game against 8th place Leeds United, in which our big Effie meat was able to penetrate their defence not once but twice before a penalty and the start of a resurgence on the 28th minute. We did regain our 2-goal lead though, half an hour in, thanks to Brandon, but Pedro a minute later, followed by a second half third and final Leeds United goal, led to a free draw. Which, ladies and gents, now brings us here to the notebook. Now, I did touch upon the first one, Jaden Williams picking up that injury, of course, against Stoke, only 4 minutes in, and, well, it's a terrible one. He's out for 3 months. He's got a torn hamstring, rather painful injury for him. That's nice for Hall, though. Hall is on his way back. He's not going to be featuring here today, but Hall might be back for the next episode, possibly. So we will have some cover over on that right-hand side. It does mean Rowley is going to probably be moving to that right-hand wing for today's game. And then in central midfield is probably going to be Sibic, I would guess, and Goss coming onto the bench in his spot. But joining him on the injury list is Joe Allen, but thankfully Joe Allen's injury isn't for too long, so he's out for 5 to 6 days. He picked up a twisted knee, which he did that in training, so 5 to 6 days with that one. After today, he should be pretty decent. And then York takeover rumours, not to be believed. Don't believe them. Do not believe them. Okay, so we've had this message twice now. We all know what it's like with the takeover rumours. You always get the takeover rumour, you always get don't believe it, and then it either goes through or it doesn't go through. And then you'll get another takeover rumour and it either doesn't go through or goes through. Keeps repeating that cycle till eventually you do end up with a takeover. Is it going to be this season? Who knows? But I guess we'll find out further into the season. But without further ado, let's head on over to the stadium and let's crack on with our game today against Barnsley. Okay, ladies and gents, match day is finally upon us, but before we dive into today's game, just have a little look over at the league table and have a guess who is favourites to be bottom of the table at this point in the season. Let's head on over to that season preview now. Previously, we were bang bottom. I think it was like 400 to 1 or some stupid amount of odds. Well, here's something that got me rather intrigued. We're still favourites. We're still 350 to 1. I don't know how, looking at our league position, we're even expected to get relegated, never mind being bottom of the table still. Rather weird those odds have yet to change, 350 to 1, considering we're all the way up there. Have more points than any team has been relegated since the start of the save, all the way back when we was in the Conference North. Yeah, it's a weird one, it really is. Leeds are also favourites for the title still, which they're struggling to get playoffs. Don't see how that one works. Bournemouth may be in second, but yeah, this, just don't believe your season preview, especially when it's deep into a season, because honestly, it's rubbish. Absolute rubbish. But enough about the season preview, with us up in 11th, expected to still be smack bottom of the table, where Peterborough is probably going to remain, followed by Swansea. And you know what? Portsmouth has a chance of escaping. I reckon it's going to be Portsmouth who does go down in the end, but maybe they sneak out and QPR drops in. Hull City, by the way, in that Ipswich game afterwards, I believe they won it 2-1. They've been on some remarkable form. They're slowly building up some form, and if they can win today against Luton, they might even get themselves above Barnsley. We, of course, need to do them a helping hand in that one, though, but if we can beat them, they can beat Luton. They're going to hop over Barnsley, and heck, what's their goal difference like? They could possibly jump over the likes of Sheffield Wednesday, and maybe it's a bit too much of a push, I think, for Millwall, but technically they could also jump over Millwall as well. But enough rambling from me. If you're interested in the other fixtures, I'm not going to roll through them here today because we do have some catch up, unlike the previous episode. So we're just going to jump straight into things. feel free to pause it if you want to have a better look at the other fixtures. But as you can see, we're suggested to go from a cautious to a balanced mentality. And you know what? We're going to go on better. We're going to change to a positive mentality. Actually, no, we're away from home. Balance seems perfectly reasonable. And we, of course, have our issue with our top goal scorer, Williams, being out injured. So, okay pitch condition here today in Barnsley. It's a gusty downpour at 7 degrees Celsius, and there's 11,861 fans in attendance, or at least tickets sold, out of 23,287 capacity. We've applied the opposition instructions, we've made that little change to our mentality, but our team for today, well, it's George in goal, the back line of Fleming, Terry, Adiapan and Shakin Stevens. No changes at the back. Little bit of a tweak to the wings. Ayrton remains on the left, but on the right is Rowley, who's usually our central midfielder, of course. Civic slides in alongside Sorensen, and Lawless sits behind the big Gaffy meat. On the bench is Prisbeck, Klein, Shipley, Goss comes in to cover for Civic's empty spot on the bench, Lubala, Weiss, and Samuel Vokes. So, let's hop on in, shall we? Okay, ladies and gents, Barnsley have 5 changes to their lineup for today's game. Now, I don't know if that's improvements or we're going to make them worse, but something to just note before we head into today's game at Oakwell. We are, of course, going to do a punch fist, give a little bit of motivation to the lads. I know we're underdogs here. I don't know how we are considering the league table, but I guess pre-season, yeah, we would have been the underdogs. I know we are underdogs here, but go out there and give the fans know we're away from home. We've got nothing to lose. Let's show everyone how good we are. Show them why we are much further up in the table than Barnsley. As you can see, Barnsley, not the greatest of form, but they do have the best formation in the entire game, a 4-2-3-1. A loss, couple of wins, a loss and a couple of draws. We, of course, have a couple of wins, a loss, a win and a draw. So, let's head on over. Shall we watch? Now we've seen the league table. We don't need to see it again. Let's just get out there. Let's crack on with today's game. Fulham and Middlesbrough is rather close, by the way. Both on 64 points. Only goal difference keeping Middlesbrough top of the league right now. Bournemouth only 4 points behind Fulham, although I think they're probably going to have to settle for the play-off spots. We then have Reading, Ipswich and West Brom. Now, Reading, by the way, is the next team we shall be versing, but I believe there's 2 games between... Oh, no, sorry, 3 games, I believe, between now and that fixture. So, a lot could happen between those 2 dates. And, well, it looks like we're having a rather dull first half. It's going to be a throw-in here for Barnsley on the 42nd minute, though. Clark plays it out to Britton on this right-hand side. Can he deliver in across, though? He's got past his man, way too much space. Whips one in, and the header's ended up in the back of the net. Poor. Very poor. Well, guess we're going attacking. Aye. Big Gaffney plays it back to Lawless. As you can see, a lot of players struggling here today. Adiapan's also rather tired, although he's not having the worst of games. We probably will have to take him off just because he's shattered. He's absolutely shattered already. Only halfway into this game. Britton with the interception gets it to Clark. It's now with Offerborn. It's now with Britton once more. Clark back to Britton. Britton plays it up. Towie's going to run down this right-hand side, maybe whipping across. Oh, Terry, what have you done? Terry! Ah, the love child of Frank Lampard and John Terry has just gone and let us down. Giving away a penalty. Come on, George. Save us. George in the Oakwell. Come on, grab that ball. He's gone the wrong way. Also, that upper left-hand side of this stadium. Why is there a walled-off area with a bunch of bins in it, which doesn't look like there's a way out? Weird. Weird Sports Interactive. Look, it's boxed in. The bins are boxed in. How do you empty them? How do you even put stuff in them? You've got to climb the wall to put some in the bin, but then how does the bin collector then take the bin? I don't know. Anyways, we've got bigger issues to worry about, like being 2-0 down here against Barnsley. Now, start of the season, this wouldn't be so bad, but considering how we've been going, this is rather disappointing. You haven't taken enough shots on target. I am disappointed with that. That has been pathetic. Now, in terms of players going off condition-wise, as you can see, Frankie Terry is actually in just as bad a condition as Will Adiapan, in danger of being booked because he's frustrated. Okay. Who is struggling in terms of ratings? Well, Rowley, Lawrenson are both on 6.8. We've got few 6-4s. Okay, we can't really take anyone off based off how they are playing. We can put Shipley on, though, to rest up Adiapan. So we're going to do that one, because as we saw, he was getting rather tired towards the back end. And then I guess we'll just see how things are going when we get to like the 62nd minute. Do we need to bring on an extra striker? Do we wish to take someone else off? Frankie Terry's also tired now. Jesus. Our players are absolutely shattered. We're going to have to give them big rests coming up after this one. There was a week between last game and this game, and yet they're still tired out. It's a shame. Britain, though, whips one in. Nodded away, though. Rowley, can he get something? No, it's going to fall to Hackett. Mayno gets it over to Towie. Towie now over to Britain. Britain has way too much space on this right-hand side. Whips one in, back post. Towie. Ah, Rob Towie. Another one of those awful shows. Towie. Oh, sorry, look, there's a door. There is a door. But... Sports Interactive, I would just like to point out, your door is normal width. These are big industrial bins. If anyone has seen a big industrial bin, you would know it wouldn't go through a normal door frame. So, yeah, still a rather big design mistake. Anyway, Fleming whips one in. Clark nods it away, and Terry shall be there to collect. But where's he going to go with this one? Plays it inside to Shipley. Shipley now over to Sorensen. He's going to go back to Sorensen. Okay, you're going the wrong way. Shaking Stevens near the centre circle. Now over to Fleming. A little weird. Our right back is in the middle of the pitch, but he is going to collect it in the centre circle and gets it back up to Civic. Now with Brandon. Brandon up to Ayrton. Ayrton, no, Brandon, you should have made the overlap. Civic instead, though, has to go back to Terry on the halfway line. Up Civic once more. Ball up to the big Geffy meet. He turns, passes. Rowley's got plenty of space. Come on, Rowley. Come on, Joey. It's not been our day here today. 63 minutes into this one. Leeds United, by the way, 2-0 up against Derby County, adding yet more misery to us. As you can see, the gap is starting to build between us and the teams above. Middlesbrough, though, nice comfortable 2-0 win against QPR at the moment. Hull City 0-0 against Luton, which isn't too bad, but it could go a little bit better for them. And we are hurting them badly, losing 3-0 here to Barnsley. So, what is the plan? There's a lot of players struggling, a lot of players who are tired. Lawless, you know what? Get off my pitch, Lawless. You can go in there. Weiss over to the wing. He can be an inside forward. We then have Rowley. Now, Rowley's not the most tired, but he is on a 6.1. So, Rowley, get off my pitch. You're struggling. Ayrton is on a 6.2 as well. We can't take him off, though. Well, in that case, you know what? Ayrton's tired and playing bad, whereas Rowley is just playing bad. So, the plan is Lubala can go up there, and we are just going to go very attacking. It's about our only option at this point. Just go very attacking, pray that we can get something going. Going to demand a bit more because everyone's been rather pathetic here today. Let's try and grab a goal back. Let's try and just grab a goal back. Give ourselves a little bit of faith going forward for the rest of the season. Been rather rough recently, although we did pick up that win against Stoke. The Leeds United game was 2-0 up, and well, we effed it up. So this is back-to-back games where we've made rather poor efforts in the end. And Rowley finishes on a 5.9, so I'm going to go berate him for that. Frankie Terry with a 7.2. Can't give him too much hassle, nor can I really give Adiapan. They both got tired, yet they managed to pull out 7.2 and a 6.9 respectively, but the team as a whole was rather pathetic in this one. Hopefully you still enjoyed, hopefully you've been enjoying your week, and hopefully you enjoyed the rest of it too. But we are of course going to be heading to Reading, otherwise known as Reading to my normal folk, in the next one. I thank you all for joining us. I hope you all have a lovely night, and goodbye.